Hey everybody, PSW60 back for more of Turok 2. And if you look down in the corner, we're still bleeding pretty badly from last episode. So let's get Adon's help with that.
Greetings, Turok. How may I assist you?
I'd briefly mentioned these health and ammo functions before,
Health granted.
but now we need to use one. Health just takes your health from whatever it's currently at and bumps it back up to 100. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty useful in some cases, especially on hard mode. If you have 200 health, I don't think it takes you back down to 100, but I never tried. Because why would you need to use a health function if you're already over 100 health? Ammo just maxes out the ammo in all of your weapons. We'll show that off later. For now, we're going to go through this door that I swore was opened by a switch. Because, frankly, it looks like it should be opened with a switch. But it's not. You just shoot at it until it blows up. Nothing about this wall really says it's destructible to me. I mean, it very obviously looks like a door. But that's just it. It looks like a door. It doesn't look like a partially destroyed door or something that you should otherwise be able to blow up. It's not cracked or anything. It's just... I don't know. It's a bit misleading and it frustrated me because I walked past it several times. And you need to come back here. This is not an optional area. Is that a bug laughing at me? I can't see him. He's gonna sneak up on me, isn't he? Yep. Fine then. There's the chunks I'd like to see from a scorpion launcher. You can't be alone. Nope, you're not.
Scorpion
Now who's laughing?
launcher.
Now you'll notice back there that the crosshairs were trained on that soldier's corpse. This is about the closest that Turok 2 really comes to juggling corpses like Turok 1 did. You can't really bounce them anywhere near as high enough, and they don't make that elongated, satisfying scream. So it's nowhere near as much fun as it was in the first game. You can still shoot bugs in the balls, so that's kind of a nice bonus. But you can't really juggle the corpses in anywhere near as much of a fun and entertaining way as you could before. They just kind of bounce a little. Kind of a shame. Alright, I gotta find your guys' nest, because this is... Man, you guys are really on me. There it is. Let's just take this out. Okay, that doesn't... You guys don't even need to use a door. I mean, they couldn't have had you guys maybe spawn slightly more forward and fall out of it that way. And now I'm running into the line of fire trying to get away from you guys. You're effective, little pests, I'll give you that. Let's just see if we can line up this shot with this guy. Continue on our merry way. Or we'll get blocked by an invisible wall. Interesting. Alright, let's see if we can find another vantage point. There's the platform. And there's the bug. And there's the invisible wall. essentially what's happening here is you see that this big fin thing is kind of made up of two parts. The one on the bottom's the mesh that handles its collision, or not the mesh, the box that handles its collision matches up pretty well with it. That upper part, the mesh is kind of off. And it's larger than you would necessarily expect it to be. As such, you can see stuff sometimes, but you won't really be able to shoot through it, because the game is still considering that part of the object. But I mean, it's not that hard to work around. You can just take a step or two to the left, because that same mesh or that same box seems to be able to handle whether the enemies can see you or not. So it's not as though you're really going to put yourself in the line of fire until they can see you. So yeah, that didn't convey that thought pretty well at all. Let's ignore that and watch bugs dance. Because just in case you couldn't tell by the change in egg type, this is another royal hatchery of sorts. And back in here, we've got another queen embryo. You could also hear a drone coming up behind us. And hopefully we can take out this embryo before the drone manages to sneak its way in here. That's probably not good. There we go.
Embryo destroyed.
Embryos don't exactly have intelligence, so you can't cerebral bore them. And these guys stay on fire for quite a while. It sounds like the other drones are behind me now. And they're trying to get past the eggs to get into us. Into this ovary of sorts. That was a terrible joke. Can't take it back now, though. I mean, that wasn't a very good hiding place. I could still see you pretty easily, hiding behind that tiny egg. I don't know, maybe you guys can't quite get commands if the queen embryo's dead. I mean, you're still getting commands from somewhere. There's got to be an actual queen. Because otherwise, who would be running this colony? I'm sure we'll find her eventually. If we're taking out the rest of the mantids, we're going to need to take out the queen too. Let's see what's over the edge. Something just warped in. There it is. And that shot just alerted that soldier I saw to where I'm at. We'll be taking care of you in good time. Actually, let's just do it now. You'll notice on the left of him there is a Leap of Faith talisman pad. I can't remember at this point if I've shown it off in previous videos. Partially because I tend to take way too long of a break in between when I record the video and when I record the audio for these things. As well as way too long of a break in between episodes. So, just in case I haven't shown it off before, we're gonna see what the Leap of Faith talisman does. Basically, all you do is step on it, and the game takes care of the rest for you. It does have that slight little hang-up
Grenade launcher.
where you just kind of get stuck in the air for a split second, in between when the automatic jump stops and it gives you control of the character back. When I'm jumping over a bottomless pit like that, it also makes me clench pretty tightly. Kind of as tightly as I'd imagine several thousand volts coursing through that bug's body would be. And we don't ever have to go back there now. We took out their queen. That was all we needed. You would think they could find something better to block our progress with than their own unborn children. Because this just seems really counterproductive. I mean, if they want us to not massacre their race, maybe they should halt our progress with something other than the next generation of their race. Just a thought, and I know the bugs can't understand me anyway. Probably. Maybe they can understand human speech? Although considering the only thing we've actually said in the game thus far was I am Turok, I'm not really sure where our vocabulary lies. Maybe we're a little bit, it's a good way to put it. Special? Or maybe we're just kind of like Groot, in that I am Turok is all we can say. But like Groot, it doesn't really inhibit our ability to murder things horribly. Shame we don't have giant extendable tree arms. We do have a knife strapped to our wrist. 2 knives, actually. And that'll have to be good enough for us. And they're throwing everything at us in this hallway. Whatever's back here, they definitely don't want us to find it. Maybe we're getting close to the computer. Ooh. Maybe we're getting close to a way to blow up the computer. Maybe a bit of both. Somehow that guy lost track of us as soon as we fell in the lava. I'm not really sure how that works, but, well, let's take out our home, or their home, rather, before we leave. We don't want to take out our own home. That's not right. Oh, and there's another one. I mean, we're not done playing Exterminator yet. We charge by the hour. And we demand our payment in blood and bullets. Let's see what's back this way. There were a few other paths that we could have gone through in that room that we climbed up the vines in. But we're gonna come back to there. It's like he's trying to help his friend. Well, wouldn't want to separate him. 2 satchel charges. Oh, there's gonna be a big explosion for this, this master computer, isn't there? And there's the end portal already. But we still need to blow this thing up, and we still need one more queen embryo. So we'll come back to you. 3 satchel charges. There's probably a 4th one then, since most stuff in Turok doesn't really come in sets of 3 that you pick up. I might be completely wrong on that. No, there is a 4th satchel charge. So we're pretty laden down with explosives. Even more so than we were previously. Now we just gotta find a computer to attach this to. Gotta be somewhere around here. What? What? This level has a very strange problem with bounding boxes, I guess. That little triangle area you can't get into. I don't really know why, but in any of those rooms that have that little, like, heart butt-shaped thing, that little triangle area behind the teleporter you just can't get into. It's blocked off with invisible walls. I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't intentional. But it's there. Huh. Oh, that worked in my favor. I don't know why that grenade didn't damage me. But it took out most of these bugs around me. So, yay. Oh, there's a second nest back here, isn't there? Yeah, that is. Oh, these ones are coming out the front now. I guess the spawner was just back a little too far on the other ones. No biggie. Ah, it's another one of those, destructible not doors. Well, I mean, they're doors, but doors we can't open without force. On the plus side, we are good at using force, so there's that.
Flamethrower. Charge dart. Grenade launcher.
Nothing back here but some weapons, though. And some fire, it looks like. And what sounds like a lot of mites. There we go. One thing that is kind of nice about this, you'll notice that there's the kind of netting, which I guess is supposed to be vines on it. It just kind of looks like the Mantid's draped in net over the edge. But you'll notice it's all over the place back here. This area, although is much easier to get by without, with the Heart of Fire talisman, you don't need it. They did design it in such a way that you can follow these life force tokens and you can get around pretty easily without it. I don't know how I missed that headshot. It was just right there waiting for me. Oh, and there's another one there. Barely see him in the darkness. Now let's jump over there and see what they're guarding. This island over here is really the only bonus you get for having the Heart of Fire talisman coming into here. This little ammunition station.
Cannon.
Ammunition island. Flashbacks from Grand Theft Auto, I guess. Hitting that switch will open, or rather, will activate that platform right there. Otherwise, we'd just be kind of stuck here. Kind of like these guys are stuck up there. Man, I've got great aim. Let's speed this up a bit, shall we? Finally. I can't tell you how many times I've missed that jump in practice runs. It's a really easy jump, and you really shouldn't miss it that much. But I have no excuse. And down in this pit, we've got 3 soldiers. And although I took that first one out pretty fast, I'm going to waste a large amount of time screwing around with these other 2 ones. I don't know, for whatever reason, I was just terrified to jump down in there and throw down with them, which would have made things a lot easier, because every time you pull the trigger, it causes them to notice you. Whether, like, when you're locked on with the Scorpion missile launcher or the Cerebral Bore, as soon as you pull the trigger, the enemies will know you're there. It doesn't matter whether you're using, like, kind of more hit-scan weapons or not. As soon as you pull the trigger on the controller is when they realize where you're at. It still might take them a minute before your missiles or bore will get to them, and by that point, they're somewhere else. And now I'm finally ready to jump down into here. Now that everything is dead. Didn't need much in the way of firestorm rounds. Oh, and this is our last queen chamber. This one's tucked back here pretty good. It's unique in that it's the only embryo chamber that only has one entrance and exit. Which means that we gotta backtrack back the way we came. Pretty much entirely back to that room that had the green water and mesh over everything. I can hear a jetpack, so there should be at least one more. There you are. I don't... Okay. Oh, you're back. I'm sure there's countless things you could joke about there. He has to go, his planet needs him. Upward, not forward, and always twirling, twirling, twirling to a brighter tomorrow. Or we could just take out this proto-queen and her entourage and be done with it. That seems like a much better option.
Queen embryo destroy. Full health.
Much better option. I was really not happy with that 25 health at the end of that. But like I said, only one way in and out of this room. I guess that makes it easier to guard, but it also means we've got quite a bit of backtracking to do. Thanks for watching.